Louie T. Welcome to this Louie T Network exclusive, ranking the 8 head coaching vacancies and the 4 GM openings. Now, let's talk about these 8 job openings. And here's what I assess. Here's what I look at, right? When I'm thinking about a job opening, if I'm a GM, I'm taking into consideration everything from the roster, the cap space, the draft capital, ownership, how stable is the franchise. These are all things that matter to me. As a head coach, cap space doesn't matter as much. Draft capital, it depends on what the situation is. That may come into play. But really, do you have a quarterback? And what's the roster look like? And how do I fit into the equation, right? How stable is the ownership group? How stable is the owner? How stable is the franchise as a whole? Because I don't want to be Frank Wright, taking a job, thinking it's a 5-year deal, moving my family to that area only to be fired 11 games in. I don't want to do that, right? So clearly, these are things that would matter to me as a head coach. So let's go through where each of these teams rank in my estimation. Some of this is facts, like hard data, numbers, and then some of it is opinionated. It's my opinion, right? So some of it is subjective and some of it is factual. So let's start with cap space. That's something that isn't subjective. This is factual. These are hard numbers, right? So cap space wise, you want to be in a healthy spot if you're trying to attract a GM. It can be a deterrent. It doesn't have to be, but it can be a deterrent when trying to lure a GM there. I want to be able to come in and have flexibility. I don't want to come in and have to dig myself out of a hole immediately. But again, if you're going to turn the roster over anyway, that's probably going to help you get yourself where you need to be from a cap situation. It's not impossible. And again, if you're going to find someone that's willing to do it, but it still makes it a lot harder to attract the type of talent that you probably are looking for if you are going after a top tier GM candidate. That said, then you get into the teams that aren't doing as well financially right now as we sit here on January the 11th. The Seattle Seahawks, who are 23rd in the league right now with just a shade over $4 million worth of cap space. Seattle Seahawks, they have 6 total draft picks, and they have the number 16 overall pick in the draft currently. So solid situation. We'll see how they maneuver there as we go through this process. But remember, the Seahawks also, just to add to the Seahawks real quick, they traded their 2nd round pick to the New York Giants for Leonard Williams. So they do not have a 2nd round pick as well. Not that that really is that impactful, but it matters in the grand scheme of things. Just thought I'd bring that up. So now we get to what I think is the most important question if you are a prospective GM or head coach. I think this is the category that if you're a head coach, this is the one you're looking at the most. Because if you don't have this, then I better have resources to get this, or I'm not going to be successful, right? And it's quarterback. Do you have a quarterback? Seahawks have a quarterback, but it's Geno Smith, okay? So take it with a grain of salt, right? And then my last category that I took into consideration when making up my list of these openings and where they rank, organizational stability / owner, right? So how stable is your organization and how is your owner perceived around league circles? Do you have good ownership, trustworthy ownership, patient ownership, et cetera, et cetera? Is the owner going to allow you to make the decisions, the moves that you want to make without meddling? These are the types of things you have to ask yourself if you're a potential GM or even a head coach. Because if you have a very meddlesome head coach or owner, he's going to not only meddle in the affairs of the general manager, but it's going to trickle down to you and personnel decisions and what you can and can't do on the field, who's playing, who's not playing, those types of things. You never want to be in that situation. So that's something that I would take into consideration when I'm assessing these openings. So I rated these jobs in this particular category, owner or organizational stability / owner, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest stability, you're as functional and stable as it gets in the NFL, to 1, which is as dysfunctional as it gets, and you would like to stay as far away from that job if at all possible. The Seahawks, they're a 5. They're a model of consistency. Even when their owner, Paul Allen, passed away, nothing has changed there. You know what you're getting. You know what the Seahawks are all about. They just moved on from Pete Carroll after what was it, 16 years he had been in Seattle. So a model of consistency, one of those franchises that just does it the right way. And so they're a 5. You don't have any issues. Oh, now we're going to see how different things are run now that Pete Carroll isn't in full control. That was a coach-centric model where he was running the show. Now, John Schneider is going to get his opportunity to actually run things. Want to see if there's going to be any difference there, but that's a really stable organization, as stable as it gets in the NFL. Coming in at number 4 on the list of jobs that are available in terms of head coaches are the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks are in cap hell. Hell is a bit of an overstatement. They only have $4 million worth of cap space, which is not where you want to be. It's not ideal, but again, they'll maneuver some things. They'll make the numbers work, and they'll free up tons of cap space when it's all said and done. That's what NFL teams do. You would just like to already be in a position of power so that when the start of the new league year happens, you could go off and do whatever it is you need to do. They're not in a position to do that. Okay. They've got 6 picks in the upcoming draft, including the 16th overall in the first round. They have a quarterback in Geno Smith, and they have a very stable organization, right? So all of these things to me point towards a coach that's looking for an operation where he can go and win right now. Like, this isn't a young team that's looking for someone to come in and change the culture, this, that, and the third. No, this is a team that they don't rebuild, they reload. They've never been bad with Pete Carroll, right? Since they got Russell Wilson. Even the years where he wasn't healthy, they still hovered around 500. The year we thought they were going to suck because either Geno Smith or Drew Lock was going to start, they made the playoffs, which was last season, right? This season, we said, oh shit, they made the playoffs. Geno Smith is, playing a lot better, got the contract. They wrote me, I ain't right back, all of that good stuff. Next thing you know, they're hovering around the playoffs again. So this is a veteran team, lots of talent, right? Got some stuff on defense, got a lot of stuff on offense. Love Kenneth Walker III, love DK Metcalf, love Jackson Smith and Jigba, love Tyler Lockett, love what they've done to the offensive line. That's a really good offense, ready to win right now. Right now. And if you can get the defense to match the intensity of the offense and get the offense to play consistent, you could have something in Seattle. So for me, it's the 4th best job, but just know that you don't have a young quarterback. It isn't a young team in particular. It's a veteran team for the most part, and they're trying to win now. That's a win now type of situation. All right. So Seattle comes in at number 4. Now I'm going to take the liberty to take it a step further, and I'm going to give you who I think. This is not who I think is going to end up there. I'm telling you who I think is the best fit for these jobs. Okay. Again, keep in mind, understand what I'm saying. I'm not telling you this is who I think the franchise is going to hire. This is who I think is the best hire for the job. Okay. Seahawks, to me, the number 1 fit of all these teams, I think the best fit is Mike Vrabel going to Seattle. Here's why. The Seattle Seahawks are the Tennessee Titans. Literally. And Mike Vrabel is a player's coach. He likes veteran players. This is what he does. He takes a veteran team. He maximizes their potential, wins games he has no business winning, takes them to the AFC Championship game with Ryan freaking Tannehill at quarterback, a dominant run game, and a suffocating defense. He could do that in Seattle. Like literally, I just described to you the Tennessee Titans circa 2019. Now, they're going to need some work on the defensive side, but boy, Witherspoon looks damn good. You got Jamal Adams' crazy ass. You went out and got the defensive tackle from the Giants, right? You got some stuff off the edge. Like Boye Mafe, look out, right? Daryl Taylor, solid. Like you got some stuff. They got the kid from the Chargers a couple of years ago, solid. Like they got stuff. You know, you really like what they got at the linebacker position. Bobby can still play. They got the kid from Cincinnati, I think it was, at linebacker in the middle. They got stuff on defense. They got stuff. Offensively, it's a veteran group. Geno Smith is his Ryan Tannehill. Kenneth Walker III is his Derrick Henry. DK Metcalf is his A.J. Brown. Here's the difference. They actually got other receivers. It doesn't have to just be the A.J. Brown show. You send Mike Vrabel to Seattle and they're beating Rams next year twice, potentially, and they're going to beat the 49ers once. I assure you of that. He's going to win some games, got no business winning. You're going to look up, and damn, Mike Vrabel got the damn Seattle Seahawks at 11-6. And you're like, I really don't want to go to Seattle. It's back to being the 12th man again. I really don't want to go to Seattle. Because he's going to outcoach you. You already know that. He's going to outcoach you. And they got talent. I'd send Mike Vrabel to Seattle so damn fast. Make your damn head spin. And he would kill it in Seattle. Kill it. The other guy is Dan Quinn. And the reason that this makes sense is because of his ties to Seattle and the energy. I just talked about that defense, and they're very fast defensively, are the Seahawks. He loves a undersized, fast defense. That's what they are. They're fast. And you bring in Dan Quinn, and he can whip that defense into shape. And he can get them to be a fast-flowing, aggressive, attacking style defense like Dallas is, that's creating turnovers because they got ball hawks on that side of the ball already. And he could get those boys to be dangerous, real dangerous. And then you look at the defense or the offense, he can run the ball with Kenneth Walker III. He knows what he's getting out of Geno Smith. And you got DK. He saw this up close and personal. They shredded his Dallas Cowboys defense on a Thursday night. He knows what they're capable of on offense. He watched it. And he's been to Seattle. He knows the environment. He knows what that can be if the team is good. It makes a lot of sense. I still don't know if I'm Dan Quinn, if I'm leaving Dallas to go there, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.